can't believe this is really happening, I whispered, staring at myself in the mirror. The wedding dress hugged my body perfectly, but I didn't feel beautiful. I felt numb. You look stunning, Mira said behind me. Her smile was too wide, her eyes too bright. Ethan is lucky, I turned slightly. Do you really think so? Of course, she replied, adjusting the veil on my head. He's successful, sharp, everything a woman could want. I hesitated. But Jace, Mira's smile faltered. Jace is a boy. Ethan is a man. Trust me. You'll thank me one day. My throat tightened. I didn't argue. I never did with Mira. She always knew better, or at least she made sure I thought she did. The ceremony was a blur. White roses, cold air, Ethan standing still as stone beside me. He didn't smile, didn't touch my hand unless instructed. When the officiant said, "Kiss the bride," he barely brushed his lips against mine. The guests clapped. Mira clapped the loudest. At the reception, I found him near the balcony, phone in hand, typing something with no urgency. "Hey," I said softly, hoping for some warmth. "Can we talk?" He didn't look up. "We're talking. I mean, really talk," I said. "About us, about this marriage. We'll figure it out later," he said. "Not now." "Do you even want to be married to me?" I asked, voice cracking. Finally, he looked at me. His expression was unreadable. "It's done now. That's what matters." I stared at him. "That's what matters?" "We both got what we needed," he said, then turned back to his phone. I wanted to scream. Instead, I walked away. I didn't want anyone to see me cry. Later that night, I went looking for him. I found him in the hallway outside the guest suites. He wasn't alone. Mira stood close. Too close. "You shouldn't be here," Ethan said sharply when he noticed me. "I'm your wife," I said, my voice shaking. "Why wouldn't I be here?" Mira's expression didn't even shift. "Relax, sis. We were just talking." "About what?" I asked. She tilted her head. "About how you always do what you're told." "What?" Ethan sighed. "Go back to the room. This isn't the time." I took a step closer. "No. Say it." "What were you saying?" Mira chuckled. "You're too easy to manipulate. Always were." The hallway spun. My stomach dropped. Ethan didn't deny it. "I trusted you," I whispered. "Both of you." "Trust is overrated," Mira said, flipping her hair over her shoulder. I wanted to collapse, but instead, I nodded. "Thank you." "For what?" she asked, clearly amused. "For reminding me who I really am," I said. "I was never the weak one. I just forgot." I turned and walked away. Each step burned, but I didn't stop. That night, I sat by the window in the bridal suite, still in my dress, makeup smudged from tears. I didn't sleep. I died that night. Not literally. But the girl who believed in love, in family, in fairy tales, she was gone. And in her place, someone else started to breathe. Someone who wouldn't be broken again. My face, rounder, softer, no wedding ring. My hands were still small, teenage hands. "What the hell?" I whispered. A knock rattled the door. "Come down for breakfast," my mother called. "And hurry, Mira's already at the table." Mira. My breath caught. My stomach twisted. Could it really be? Could I be back? Downstairs, Mira sat poised, spooning yogurt into her mouth like royalty. I said nothing, just stared at her. She was still her same self, same superiority complex, same fake kindness. But I wasn't the same. "Don't stare, it's weird," she said. "Sorry," I said quietly. I wasn't ready yet. Not to fight her. Not to explode. Not yet. My father entered with his usual silence. My mother followed with a stack of bills. She barely looked at me. "Mira, don't forget your piano recital is this weekend." "I won't," Mira said. "But Mom, I was thinking, maybe we should talk to Ethan's family soon. You know how important those connections are?" I choked on my juice. Already? She was already plotting? "You okay?" Mira asked, eyes wide with fake concern. I nodded. "Just went down the wrong pipe." After breakfast, I walked outside. The sun felt warmer than I remembered. The wind softer. I closed my eyes. "I'm really back," I whispered. "God gave me another chance." But for what? Jace found me in the park that evening. His hair was messy from soccer. He grinned like always. "There you are." I stared at him, overwhelmed. He was still here, still alive, still innocent. "I missed you," he said. "You just saw me yesterday," I said, trying to smile. "Still counts." We sat on the bench we always claimed as kids. He leaned back, arms stretched out. "So, you okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "You're not. I can tell." I looked at him, really looked. I remembered his tears at my wedding, how he still came, even when I rejected him, how he whispered goodbye when he left the country. "Hey," Jace called, jogging up the school steps. "Wait up." I paused, shifting my books to one arm. "You're late. I brought you this." He held out a small wrapped bun from the bakery downtown. "Your favorite." I blinked. "You remembered? You think I'd forget?" He grinned. "You used to steal mine when we were kids." I took it, warmth spreading through my fingers. "Thanks." His eyes lingered on me a second too long. "You're different lately." "Different how?" "You used to let Mira cut in when we talked. You don't anymore. You used to nod along to whatever she said, even if it didn't make sense. Now you challenge her." I glanced at the courtyard. Mira stood with a group of friends, laughing loudly, eyes flicking toward us like daggers. "She's watching," I muttered. "I don't care," he said. "Why do you?" I looked at him, voice low. "Because I've seen what she's capable of." He raised an eyebrow. "You say that like she's a villain." I didn't answer. Instead, I bit into the bun, let the sugar melt on my tongue, and smiled. "Still perfect." "Of course it is," he said. "I know you." At lunch, Mira plopped down beside me uninvited. "So," she started, eyes narrowing, "you and Jace seem cozy lately." "We're friends," I replied simply. She twirled a lock of hair. "You're acting strange." "Strange how?" I sipped my juice, meeting her eyes. "Confident," she said, almost disgusted. "Like you've got some secret." I leaned in slightly. "Maybe I do," she scoffed. "Whatever, just don't embarrass yourself." "I'll try not to," I said. "But if anyone knows about embarrassment, it's you, right?" Her mouth opened, but I stood up before she could respond. I walked toward Jace, who waited by the doors. "She's rattled," I whispered as we walked together. He chuckled. "What did you say to her?" "Nothing she didn't deserve." Jace looked sideways at me. "You sure you're okay?" "No," I said honestly, "but I'm learning to be." That afternoon, we walked by the lake, our quiet spot. He kicked pebbles into the water. "I like this version of you," he said. "What version?" "The one that doesn't shrink when others talk over her." "I used to think being quiet meant I was polite," I said. "Turns out it just meant I was easy to ignore." He nodded slowly. "You were never easy to ignore. Not to me." Silence settled between us. Soft. Safe. "I'm not ready yet," I said quietly, "for anything more." He smiled, eyes warm. "Then I'll wait." My chest ached. "You don't have to," I whispered. "I know," he said. "That's why I will." As the sun dipped, Mira's voice echoed in my head. "She's too easy to manipulate." Not anymore. Now I had someone beside me who saw me. And more importantly, I was finally starting to see myself. I saw him again at the networking banquet my father forced me to attend. Ethan Lee. He stood across the ballroom, sipping wine, still dressed in sharp black like a shadow. He hadn't changed. Not his cold stare, not his distant arrogance. But I had. I turned back to my table, pretending not to notice him. Mira leaned in beside me. "You're not seriously ignoring Ethan, are you?" I smiled politely. "Why wouldn't I?" Her eyes narrowed. "Because he's important, powerful. You don't want to seem rude." "Right," I said. "Wouldn't want to be rude." I took a sip of water and stood. If I stayed, I'd say something dangerous. "Going somewhere?" she asked. "Bathroom," I lied. I wasn't gone 5 minutes before he found me. "Didn't expect to see you here," Ethan said, suddenly beside me near the hallway. I didn't flinch. "Likewise." "You've changed," he said. "Your eyes are different." "I wear contacts now," I replied flatly. He chuckled. "I remember you being softer." "You misremembered." There was a pause. He studied me for too long. "You look good." "I know," I said, brushing past him. He followed. "You used to stutter when I talked to you." "Maybe I used to think you mattered." His smile faltered. "You're sharper now." I had to be. He stepped closer. "I'm intrigued." "Don't be." "Why not?" I turned, eyes calm. "Because I'm not here to entertain you." He watched me walk away again, but this time I could feel it. His curiosity clung to me like smoke. And Mira noticed. The next morning, she barged into my room. "What are you doing?" "Sleeping," I said without lifting my head. "With Ethan," she snapped. "You're flirting with him." I had 2 minutes of conversation. "Don't play dumb. He asked about you." "Let him." She stared at me. "You don't want him." "I don't," I said, "but you do. That's what bothers you." Her mouth tightened. "Stay away from him." I laughed. "Funny, that's what you told me last time, too." "What are you playing at?" she hissed. "I'm not playing," I said, sitting up slowly. "I'm just existing. And it's finally bothering you." Her face turned red. "You've changed." "Good," I said. "I like this version of me." She stormed out. Later that week, Ethan sent me flowers. A white orchid, no note. I let it sit on the porch until it wilted. The next time I saw him, he leaned against his car, waiting. "You didn't like the flowers?" he asked. "I didn't order them. They were a peace offering." "We're not at war," I said. "We're not anything." He raised an eyebrow. "You're hard to impress now." Maybe I finally learned my worth. Maybe I missed it the first time. I smiled coldly. Maybe you don't get second chances. He didn't speak after that, and for once I felt powerful. He was watching, but I wasn't his anymore. I sat in my room, staring at Mira's charity proposal on her desk. She left it open. Sloppy, fake receipts, inflated numbers, a trail of lies pretending to help orphans, when the money went straight into her private account. She never expected anyone to check, especially not me. I emailed everything anonymously to a local reporter. No subject, no name, just truth. By morning, the school was buzzing. "Did you hear about Mira's family fund?" Someone whispered. "Fraud investigation? It's all over the news site," another voice chimed. I sat in class, silent, calm. Mira burst in late, face pale, lips tight. The teacher paused. "Mira, are you okay?" Yes," she stammered. "I just need a moment." Everyone was staring, some whispering, some recording. She shot me a look, and I smiled. During lunch, she cornered me in the restroom. "You did this," she hissed. "I know it was you." "Proof?" I asked, washing my hands. "Why would you do this to me?" "Maybe because you deserve it." Her nostrils flared. "You're jealous." "Of what?" I said, turning to face her. "Your lies, your fake tears, your empty charm." She slapped the sink. "You've gone insane." "No," I said softly. "For the first time, I see clearly." She stormed out. At home, our parents were already panicking. "You embarrassed this family," my father yelled. "She hasn't been charged with anything," I said. "But now the neighbors are talking." my mother snapped. Mira stood silently behind them, eyes red but dry. You always take her side, I muttered. Because she doesn't cause problems, Dad said. No, I corrected. She just hides them better. I walked out. The silence behind me felt like victory. Later that night, my phone buzzed. Ethan. Saw the news. Are you okay? Me. Why wouldn't I be? Ethan. You're close to her. Thought it might affect you. Me. It doesn't. He replied with a single dot. I knew he was watching. Measuring. I posted a photo of me smiling at a book cafe. Alone, free, glowing. 2 minutes later, he liked it. 1 minute after that, he called. I let it ring. The next day, he waited outside school in his sleek black car. You're hard to reach, he said. I'm not trying to be reached. You're angry. No, I said. I'm just done. He leaned against the car, arms folded. You were never this cold. You were never this interested. I'm interested now. I looked him dead in the eyes. That's your mistake. He straightened. You're playing with fire. I smirked. No, I'm becoming it. He stared at me for a second, then got back in his car and drove off. That night, I sat on my bed, legs crossed, heart steady. This wasn't survival anymore, it was the beginning of war. And I had just landed the first strike. Jace stood under the old oak tree holding a velvet box. His voice shook. I know it's early, he said, but I've loved you forever. I'm not asking for a wedding tomorrow. I just want you to know I am not going anywhere. I froze. His eyes searched mine. Will you marry me someday? I opened the box. A simple silver ring with a tiny sapphire. My birthstone. He remembered. I should say no, I whispered. I should wait. Be sure. Protect my heart. Then say all of that, he said, stepping closer. Say it, but don't lie to me. You feel something too. I swallowed hard. You're right. I do. I took the ring, slid it onto my finger slowly. Yes. His face lit up. Mira saw us from the window, her expression twisted. By Monday, everyone knew. Our parents were stunned. Mira was silent. Too silent. At lunch, she sat beside Jace. Congrats, she said, smiling too wide. You finally wore her down. He looked confused. It's not like that. Of course not, she said. I'm just saying, you always chased her. Guess even stubborn girls cave eventually. I clenched my fork. Jace stood. We're not doing this. Mira touched his arm. Relax. I'm happy for you. Truly. He shook her off. After school, I found her waiting outside. You're really marrying him? She asked. I am. He's not your type. You don't know my type, I said. You don't even love him. I leaned in. I didn't love Ethan either, but you sure pushed me toward him. That's different, she snapped. That was for your future. No, I said calmly. That was for your convenience. She folded her arms. You're just trying to punish me. No, I'm just finally choosing myself. She blinked. That cut deeper than anything else I could have said. The next week, Jace's mother invited me over. She'd heard the news and wanted to talk. She doesn't like me, I whispered to Jace before we went inside. She'll come around, he said. You're everything I want. Inside, his mother smiled too politely. So, engagement? Yes, I said softly. She leaned in. Don't break his heart. I won't. Because if you do, I will never forgive you. I nodded. I understand. She didn't need to threaten me. I had no intention of hurting him, but that didn't stop Mira from trying to plant seeds. A few days later, Jace pulled me aside. Mira told me you were using me, he said. I exhaled slowly. Do you believe her? He shook his head. No, but I had to ask. She's grasping, I said. Let her. He wrapped his arms around me. Whatever comes, we'll handle it together. That night, I found Mira in the hallway. You really hate this, don't you? I asked. I just think you're rushing, she said coolly. You mean you're losing? I'm worried about you, she lied. No, you're worried about being replaced, I said. But the throne you sat on, I never wanted it. You don't belong in his world. And you don't belong in mine, I replied. For the first time, she looked scared. I walked away with her silence heavy behind me. This wasn't just a proposal. This was the first time I said yes to something I truly wanted. And no one, not even Mira, was going to take that from me. I sat in the corner booth of a quiet cafe, laptop open, heart steady. The USB drive Mira dropped in her bag last week now sat in my palm. She'd gotten lazy, again. And Ethan, even lazier. Inside were emails, financial reports, private messages, all proof that Ethan Lee had been orchestrating insider trades under shell companies. I stared at the screen. This would ruin him. I clicked send. The email, anonymous. The recipient, a financial journalist known for exposing corporate fraud. 2 days later, the headline dropped, CEO Ethan Lee under investigation for corporate manipulation. At school, students whispered. Teachers paused whenever I entered the room, but I stayed quiet. Mira didn't. She cornered me near the lockers, gripping my wrist. What did you do? I looked her dead in the eye. I told the truth. You'll destroy him, she hissed. He's destroying himself. You're insane. No, I said calmly. I'm awake. That evening, Ethan called. I didn't answer. He called again and again. Finally, I picked up. You think this was you? He growled. I know it was. You're messing with things you don't understand. You mean consequences? I asked. No, I understand those just fine. A pause. You were nothing before me. Exactly, I said. And now I'm everything without you. He was silent. Then, why now? Because I was tired of being silent. I hung up. Later that night, he showed up at my house. My parents weren't home. Mira stood on the stairs, eyes wide. Let me in, Ethan demanded. No, I said. I need to talk. You had your chance, on our wedding night. You think you've won? I'm not playing anymore. His eyes shifted. You were never like this. You never gave me the chance to be. Behind me, Mira finally spoke. Ethan, just go. He looked at her, disgusted. You let her do this. I didn't do anything, she snapped. You let her get too close. You pushed her away, Mira said quietly. I blinked. It was the first honest thing she'd said in weeks. He stormed off without another word. I turned to Mira. You still love him? She didn't answer. You can have what's left, I said. I'm done with scraps. She didn't chase after him. She just stared at the door. The next day, the media exploded. Ethan's board suspended him. His investors pulled out. His accounts were frozen pending investigation. He fell fast. I watched from afar, cold, detached, until one afternoon, I saw him outside my school gates. He looked different, tired, lost. You finally got what you wanted, he said. No, I said softly. I got what I deserved. His voice cracked. I should have chosen you. You did, I whispered. You chose to destroy me. He reached out. I stepped back. I'm marrying someone else, I said. His hand dropped. His lips parted. You don't mean that. I do. He stared at me, but I turned and walked away. Because I didn't need closure. I needed peace. And I had finally found it. I knew she'd snap eventually. Mira never handled losing well, especially not to me. The day after Ethan's public fall, Jace and I announced our engagement online, this time with a photo, his arms around my waist, my smile real, the ring catching sunlight. Within hours, the comments rolled in. They look so happy. Didn't her sister used to date him? Talk about karma. By dinner, our parents were pale with embarrassment. I told you to stay away from Jace, my mother hissed. I'm not 17 anymore, I said. You don't get to choose. We're just thinking about your future, my father added. No, I corrected. You're thinking about Mira's. They didn't deny it. Mira slammed her fork down. You're destroying this family. No, I said, calm. I'm just not covering for it anymore. She stood abruptly. You want to ruin my life? Fine, but don't pretend you're innocent. I never was, I said. I was just silent. She left the table in a fury. I found her in her room, surrounded by shredded magazines and torn dresses. You always had everything, she muttered. I leaned against the doorframe. You said I was easy to manipulate. You were. And now, Her hands shook. Now you're cruel. No, I said. I'm just done begging for love. You think Jace actually loves you? He does. She laughed bitterly. They always leave. I left first, I reminded her. You just never thought I would? She sat on the bed, suddenly small. I just wanted to be better than you. I looked at her. Really looked. Behind the perfect makeup and arrogant mask was a broken girl who thought love was a competition. I never wanted to compete, I whispered. I just wanted a sister. You got the love, she spat. The guy, the attention, everything. And you had my parents, I said. The spotlight, the praise, but that wasn't enough, was it? Her lips trembled. It's not fair. None of it ever was. She didn't speak again. That week, her lies came full circle. The charity board launched an internal review. Her position was terminated. Her face was removed from the press photos. Sponsors backed out. She spiraled fast. I got a call from her one night. Do you hate me? She asked, voice shaking. I sat in silence. No, I said finally. But I don't trust you. That's fair, she whispered. She hung up. A few days later, I saw her working part-time at a boutique downtown. Head low, hair tied back. Her smile was forced now, hollow. Some part of me wanted to pity her, but another part knew this was the path she paved with her own hands. Jace met me outside the shop. Was that Mira? Yes. He looked at me. Are you okay? I thought I'd feel satisfied, I said, but I don't. He slipped his hand into mine. Because you're not her. We walked away, and for the first time, I didn't look back. Mrs. Everett, the barista said, calling out my name. It took me a second to respond. I smiled as I picked up the coffee. Still getting used to that. Jace nudged my shoulder. Looks good on you. I stared at the cup. A new name. A new beginning. We'd gotten married in a small ceremony. Nothing flashy. No guest list. No drama. Just vows under a blooming cherry tree and the kind of silence that feels like home. I didn't invite Mira. She didn't ask. My new business had finally launched. A digital consultancy firm for small businesses. I poured everything into it. Not for approval. Not for revenge. For me. I met clients. Built connections. Became someone even I could rely on. Mira didn't exist in this world. But sometimes I still saw the ghost of my past. One afternoon, while picking up fabric for a project, I saw Ethan, sitting outside a corner cafe, alone. He looked thinner. The arrogance drained from his face. When our eyes met, he stood. I didn't move. He walked toward me. Hey, Ethan. He looked nervous. You look good. I know. He let out a sad laugh. Still sharp? Still breathing, I replied. That's enough for me. Can we talk? I don't think there's anything left to say. I just wanted to see you. One more time. Why? He hesitated. To say I was wrong. About everything. I nodded. You were. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. He lowered his eyes. I lost everything. I didn't, I said softly. I found myself. I turned to leave, but he called after me. Do you hate me? I paused. No, I said, but I don't remember who I used to be around you, and I never want to be her again. He didn't follow me. That night, Jace kissed the top of my head. You okay? Yeah, I said. I saw Ethan. He didn't react. He looked like a stranger. Jace squeezed my hand. Because he is. We watched the stars from our back porch. The cherry tree Jace planted for me had begun to bloom. Each petal felt like a quiet reminder. I had survived. Grown. Thrived. I'm proud of you, he whispered. I smiled. I'm proud of me too. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Mira's charity had officially been shut down. Her name blacklisted. I put the phone away. I didn't need karma to finish the story. I had already closed the chapter. The world kept spinning, but I had finally stepped off Mira's stage and built my own. The paper trembled slightly as I held it between my fingers. I had written the letter days ago, maybe weeks, folded it, sealed it, and never looked at it again. To the girl I used to be, the front read, I sat beneath the cherry tree in our backyard, the one Jace planted on our wedding day. The breeze was soft, warm. The petals danced around me like quiet reminders of how far I'd come. I opened the letter slowly. You were too kind, too trusting, too desperate to be loved. You believed their lies. You silenced your heart. You thought pain was the price of belonging. I swallowed hard. My own handwriting cut through me like truth. But you survived, even when they tried to break you. You died in a wedding dress, but you rose in fire. You stopped waiting to be chosen and started choosing yourself. A tear slid down my cheek. I didn't wipe it away. I wish I could have protected you sooner, I whispered to the wind. But maybe you had to be broken. Jace came outside, 2 mugs in his hands. You okay? I nodded. Just finishing something. He sat beside me, handing me tea. Want me to read it? No, I said. It's for her. He didn't ask who. He just leaned into me, his warmth grounding mine. I lit a match, held it under the letter. It caught slowly, orange flames curling the edges. I dropped it into the ceramic bowl beside me, watched it turn to ash. Was that closure? Jace asked gently. It was a goodbye, I said. He kissed my temple. You're strong. I didn't start out that way, but you ended up here. I looked around, at the house we built, the garden I planted, the peace I never thought I'd know. I don't need them to apologize anymore, I said. Then you're truly free. We sat in silence, watching the stars appear one by one. I thought of Mira, of Ethan, of the girl I used to be. I hoped they found their own truths, but I didn't need to see it. My story had moved on, and I had too. This life, this name, this love, this peace, it was mine, and I had earned every piece of it.